I'm Deputy Chief Frederick Chambers of the Fairfax County Police Department. And today I want to share with you an arrest after an abduction at the Fairfax Mall on Friday morning in the play area. So on Friday morning, a family visiting the Fairfax Mall with their children was in the area of the playhouse or the playground inside the mall when a toddler wandered off from the play area and from her parents. Shortly after wandering away, the suspect walked up behind the toddler, picked her up, and carried her away from that area. Carried her to the second floor of the mall before the mother realized that the toddler was no longer in the play area. The mother went searching for her daughter and located her daughter with the suspect on the second floor of the Fairfax Mall. At that point, she confronted the suspect and retrieved her daughter and returned back to the play area to meet the rest of her family. They contacted Fairfax County Police Department, and officers from the Fairfax District Station responded to conduct the initial investigation. During that investigation, working with the mall security, we were able to obtain surveillance footage from the camera system in the mall, which the officers immediately shared with the Real-Time Crime Center of the Fairfax County Police Department. Detectives in the Real-Time Crime Center was able to take that information and to develop a suspect, to which they shared with detectives from the Criminal Investigations Division, the Violent Crime Suppression Unit, as well as the Criminal Intelligence Unit, to continue the investigation to try and locate this suspect. During that investigation, detectives from the Violent Crime Suppression Unit was able to find out that earlier that morning, a vehicle was reported stolen from an auto repair shop in the Chantilly area. Working again with the Real-Time Crime Center, with that information, was able to locate that vehicle and track that vehicle to a hotel in the Chantilly area. Detectives set up surveillance on that hotel, confirmed that the suspect was inside, and eventually made contact with the suspect and took him into custody without incident. The child was not hurt, was returned to the mother, as I stated earlier, and we were able to take the suspect into custody without incident.
Chief Tisha Lewis with Fox 5 DC. What communication, if any, have you all had with ICE, and can you tell us if the suspect is here legally or illegally?
We have not had any communication with ICE. We don't know. We haven't worried about his immigration status. Our focus was just on getting the suspect into custody before he tried to abduct someone else.
And then did the suspect admit to the crime?
The suspect was interviewed by detectives, and that information is ongoing.
I know you touched on it. Can you kind of describe what the suspect was doing, how he was carrying the child, like how they were proceeding and leaving the playground, and kind of what physical actions were when encountered?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good question. So the child just walked away from the play area, going toward another store in the mall. The suspect walking by just walks up behind the child, approaches the child, to which the child turns around. He picks the child up and just carries him away. So if there was a community member walking by, they would have never thought anything strange about it, the way he just picked the child up and carried her away.
Any indication that he was kind of hanging out in that area, looking like, was he floating around there for a little while, or was that?
Detectives are still investigating his arrival time and departure time. All that is going to be a part of the further investigation, but all we know is we can see him on camera walk up behind the child, pick the child up, and immediately walk away from the area.
And then go up like an escalator. He's moving, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Immediately goes through the store and up the stairs to the next level.
And then what can you tell us about security, staffing at this child play area? Parents that are watching this may have concerns. What would you say to address those concerns? Are their children safe and secure in the play area at this mall?
So the mall has security, as well as we have officers that are assigned to the mall. However, we always ask parents to be aware of your surroundings, keep your eyes on your children. This is a Friday morning. The mall has community members inside, but it's not overly crowded. So if he was able to do this in a less crowded mall, we can imagine what would happen if it was even more crowded where you can't see. But there is security in the mall. There's police officers assigned to the mall. But we ask the parents, just pay close attention to your child, because you could see how quickly this child wandered off and was able to be picked up.
And what can you tell us about his play area? Is this a play area where you drop your child off to play while you shop, or is this a play area where you are there with your child while they're playing?
Yes, ma'am. Good question. No, this is a play area where you sit with your child and monitor them while they're playing. It's not a child care center or anything like that. It's just something I assume the mall offers for its customers to have their child do something while they're out in the mall.
There are a couple there. The one that I'm thinking of, and I'm guessing it's this one, but I want to clarify. There's a department store right there. It might be the Macy's. I don't remember, but it kind of opens towards the department store, and it's got like a half wall around it. It's partially enclosed, right? Is that one? Or is the one that there's like a couple things that it's not enclosed at all?
It's the one on the lower level. I'm not familiar exactly which store is by it. I think it's a JCPenney in that area as well. Yeah, so that's the one that the incident occurred. Yes.
Is this particular defendant known to police?
So we were able to find that we've had contact with him before. That's how we were able to develop him as a suspect through the investigation from our real-time crime center. I don't have his criminal history, if that's what you're certain to at this moment.
And so if you guys have had contact with him before, can you just explain for people watching this why we don't know if he's here legally or not?
So the Fairfax County Police Department does not deal with immigration issues. When we have contact with community members, we deal with them for whatever that call for service is or whatever that case is we're working. We're not immigration officers, so that's not something that we would get involved in.
Is this somebody that is known? You said you had gotten in contact with him before. Have other jurisdictions, either in the area or otherwise, made contact with him?
That information I don't have right now. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you for being here. I'm Brooke Wright. I'm an assistant chief for investigations for Fairfax County Police. We were very fortunate that our community stays in contact with us and is willing to help us out. And that was exactly what helped us close this case. On July 8th, we had a bus driver who was brutally assaulted by a passenger on the bus who he did not know. We put out some flyers, some stills, some information in the past couple weeks asking for the community's help and support in identifying this suspect. We received several calls to our Crime Solvers line, which is answered by our real-time crime center. So we have officers paying attention 24/7, waiting for those calls to come in, and the community responded. We had several people called and identify this person as Javante Johnson from Lorton. He's an 18-year-old, and then along with Loudoun County, our violent crime suppression unit went out and started tracking the suspect. He was picked up on Saturday, and he's been charged with aggravated malicious wounding. With that, I'll take any questions.
Do we know what took place before this attack, what the motive was behind this attack?
We don't. It appears to be unprovoked. The bus driver is an elderly man who was beaten severely. So we're obviously going to be investigating more into this attack, and if there have been any others like it in the community. Right now, we don't have any information that supports that there are, but we welcome any calls the community wants to make and provide us more information. Like I said, we were fortunate enough that a lot of community members saw the suspect's picture, recognized what we were trying to do, and made those calls to Crime Solvers, which were quickly answered by our detectives in the Real-Time Crime Center and allowed us to close this case.
That attack went 0 to 60 real fast. Do we know what was said? There was a brief exchange of words before he started swinging.
Unfortunately, we don't. We're still working on that. And to tell you the truth, like when this case happened, the victim was hurt so severely. It's going to take us a while to get complete information for everything that we need to know before we go to the courtroom.
Is there any history of contact with the police department, or does this person have a history of any kind of like mental health issues that's known to you guys, or that you guys are indicating?
Yeah, great question. We don't know a lot about this person's history right now. He is 18 years old, so no history that I'm aware of. Again, I'd like to thank the community for paying attention and being a part of supporting the work that we're doing and protecting everybody in the community. I appreciate it. Thank you.